Alright, it's Papa Bear Gaming. Gonna look at the new expansion to Grim Dawn called Ashes of like Mortius or something. Yeah, we'll test it out in game. We're gonna start a new character. Gonna go hardcore veteran. Give it like 15 minutes, see if there's any new enhancements, and just kind of give you guys a taste of this game. Now I'm gonna turn off. This is a really cool take on just action RPGs in general. Instead of the typical, build up your abilities through putting points into all abilities, what this one does is really it focuses you not just on your regular ability trees and mixing the classes, but on having multiple items that also provide abilities and bonuses. So you'll see it in play. It's basically, it's in the vein of like Diablo and
kill a spirit,
those sort of games.
If you kill the mortal vessel while it's bound, the spirit may perish within. If it escapes,
it's listening to us.
You start the game as a weakling who got his soul stolen.
The Fury. Why have you invaded our world? We existed first. We were managed by your corrupt gods. Your part of what we were, and now we return to reclaim what by right should be ours. I've heard enough of this rubbish. Let's hang it.
To survive by
and I will find another. I have tasted its desires, emotions, the kind its work. You have already launched this war. Do it.
Captain!
Cut him down. What? Are you mad? Better safe than sorry.
The spirit has fled.
This is a human now.
The captain
so
is
you
correct. When they
like some hero or whatever,
but
an idiot that nobody trusts, and then you have to try to build back some trust and kill stuff and
we need
develop your skills.
Survivor we can call to
So it'll take probably like 10-15 minutes for me to get to a stage where I can level up a couple of these abilities.
Send them to me.
But once I do that, then you can really get a good feel for this game.
Deep with the others.
If you're not interested, if you like action RPGs, this is definitely a good title to give a try. It's by indie company. I think it's like $19.99 or something like that on Steam, and it's well worth it. All the usual stuff you're used to from Diablo are here, plus. So you got your typical inventory. As you level up, you get more and more skills. Okay, I got assault bag. You got all the different stats and places to put in your points. For those people that like to just look at stats, they're all there. I don't think I can show or bring anything up until I actually get some killing in. And the game's pretty huge. You just start off with all these various abilities here, and there's nothing stopping you from using an ability or a skill other than pretty much the items you get and what you want to do. I have a vault in here, so once I could actually get into the town and don't really know what this does. Keeper of Illusions. So we're gonna have to see what this does. I sped through a lot of this quest here. This is a Rift Gate. This is how you could come back to town whenever you feel like it. One of the interesting factors in this game is once you actually go out in town, you can teleport home whenever you want. There's no like penalty for just randomly starting fresh. Another thing I found interesting here is the game starts off and it just sends you out. It says go out. If you want to come into this town, you need to do something for the town to make it worth it, you know, worth our while. And then it gives you no real direction, no guidance, just good luck to you, sir. One of the keys here, key binding. Show items. One of the keys just shows everything in the immediate area. It's good just to help you figure out what you could break. A lot of this stuff is breakable, which makes it really easy to get going. And another interesting dynamic they have is rested. So you could either heal through potions, you know, the typical potions that all games use, or you could heal through just your not being in the fight. So, you know, as long as I'm rested, all I have to do is simply get out of the fight and I will just naturally heal. And then the crafting. Oh, the crafting is great. There are so many different components that you could use to build items. Then once you apply them to weapons, armor, whatever, they will give you different skills and different built-in abilities. I feel like I'm doing something wrong though, because I don't, you know, I'm used to playing this game. You know, last time I played it, I just kept looking for items on the ground by just holding the Alt key or whichever button it is. And it just made everything easier to find the little hidden, you know, items that are floating around in the game. One of probably the only things I don't like about the game is that it starts pretty slow. You know, you'd figure, you know, these type of games you can't expect, you know, too much of a start. You have to kind of get themselves ramped up. But this one starts really slow because you can't really pick too much in the way of skills until much later. You can't really see too many, you know, you're not running out there throwing lightning bolts and destroying, you know, legions of undead early. You're pretty much just, you know, cleaning up and killing random little things like this. You're going around, you're searching for better items. And if you've never, you know, played or you don't know anything about this game, you're going to have to really pay attention, because there are a lot of little hidden things in the very beginning of the game that you're not going to find right away. For example, over here somewhere is a boat that transports you to a much higher level area and allows you to get into a quest that will get you some pretty cool items, but if you're not prepared, you're not gonna even survive long enough to test it out. It's over here somewhere. Alright, so I got a nice little musket. Ranged weapons are pretty powerful. There's something I've found. You can see from the effects, it's pretty decent graphics. What's really changed from the last time I played this. A lot of it looks different. It's a little more polished. Oh, this is a good example item here, scrap. What you could do with scrap that the game doesn't really explain is you could there'll be certain sections that are hidden off, and either scrap or like other special items like dynamite can be found randomly throughout the world, and you'll use that to get past areas that you normally won't be able to, go to. The game doesn't really tell you any of that, so you might find yourself just randomly running around, find a hidden area, feel all good about yourself, but then it turns out you can't access the area because you don't have the item you needed. And then since there isn't a simple way to like mark things on the map for later, you'll have to just leave it and come back if you remember where to look for it. That's what gets a little annoying fast. Like once you've had like one full playthrough, maybe more, then it becomes so much easier because one of your characters, the first character that pretty much sucked, will help you push the other characters forward. So what I'm gonna do is hopefully, let's see, in the first 15 minutes or so, my hope is to just get to something a little more interesting. I'll show you kind of the intro, then I'm gonna do like a mid-game, what it looks like. And then what I'll do is I'll jump into one of my later game characters so you can really get the hang of it. Found myself a boss character without like early on, they're pretty straightforward, they just pretty much stand there and shoot. But as the game goes on, along with, that, they all have like special abilities and skills that they put into play. And it gets to the point where you're dealing with much stronger opponents who are not going to be easy to deal with. And as you can see here, most of the items are tied to, you can get lore information by reading this here. And the story is pretty good, I have to say. Let's see, most of the items are tied to, you know, stats for wearing them, which allows you to wear quite a few more items than you would expect. So now, let's check out. There's also factions in the game that I found very interesting. As you start to meet the various factions, they'll give you quests and they'll give you things to do for specific quest items. And here are the skills. And then here's also a class system that you could put points into. It's similar. It's not as complex as some of the other games. It's real simple. You go down a path, and then there's points in that path that will just make you stronger. So what it lets you also do is mix and match classes. So if you're a soldier or, you know, an occultist, you could then, you know, I'm gonna go occultist, in fact, just for now, just to show you what occultist means. I want a hellhound, right? Hellhounds are pretty impressive. So not enough to get a hellhound. So we're gonna move into this bird. So I could get my occultist to heal me, or my bird pet to heal me. And we're gonna die quickly spreads to the target and then detonates itself. We might give that a try. We want to put some points into just the normal stuff like that. Alright, so that's what we're going to try. Attack. Put that in there. Alright, so what's cool about it though is a lot of, you know, the pet abilities are not specifically like cast, you know, things that you have to constantly cast. They're just on. You see, like my pet went off and was doing his own thing, killing stuff and keeping me alive. Let's see, hopefully we can run into a bunch of enemies so we can really show off some of these abilities. Like, look at that, my pet's doing its thing without me. And that's one of the things I like about, you know, just by I don't know if anyone even noticed, but the difference in damage just by me. Oh, we found Buried Hill at last. So just by me running around and doing some damage here and then leveling up my skills, you can see like the difference in damage all of a sudden. I personally think the Hellhound combo with the bird is, you know, near unstoppable, because it allows you to, you know, from the safety, you know, a good distance off, lets me just shoot stuff and not worry about dying. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, so we're about to make it to our first boss. Having my bird in the background. I need a couple of levels before we can get our Hellhound up. And let's see what we got here. Another interesting thing I like about this game is just the atmosphere. You know, it's nice, dark, it's grimy. You know, whatever has happened to this world is, you know, things have gone badly for this world. And some of the bosses are quite difficult. Like the chapter boss, I think it's a warden or a butcher. He is quite difficult and will, you know, punish you for standing still and not paying attention to where you are. So, +1 brute force. We're gonna wear that, we're gonna wear that. Everything, because we're gonna sell all of this stuff. So we're already out of space. So that's pretty much an intro to this game. It's a new IP by some indie developers, and you know, I think people should really give it a try. It's quite interesting and it's worth a lot of time. Another interesting part is these temples. Some of them you have to cleanse by, you know, dealing with waves. Some you have to cleanse just by simply clicking on them. And as I'm out of space, I can't really get that. So they kind of give you a nice taste of everything to get your taste buds, you know, wet, if you will. Let's see about, we got enough points to, nope, we don't have enough points to get the hell out. We need another level. So that is just the intro, how you get into this game. But now I'm going to jump ahead from my baby occultist to my conjurer. Now he doesn't look like the typical spellcaster you would expect to see. And you know, I've mixed some two-hand and some other spells together, and now we got this demonic animal over here. We've got this one over here. We got a couple abilities. And if you see here, we got a totem. We've got a savage ability, the Hell Totem. And look at my inventory. And you see, this is what I mean by the crafted stuff, right? So I got a epic two-hand, then I put on a crafted Howled Fang. It granted a bunch of different skills, including Blood Drinker. So now I drain people when I hit them, you know, and I put, you know, stuff on everything. Then you have also these rare metals, and it really lets you go into detail what you want to do to these various characters. And then over time you level up the craftsmen. They all do damage the same as you. I don't know what the solution be gone is. Who knows what that's probably some item for people who had characters that they're no longer using. And they have the different, you know, grade of items. I'm going to jump ahead real quick just to show you. So Quartermasters, this is the portal I was talking about before. As people get to know you and like you, then they offer you this collection of different items, including blueprints, so you can make whatever you want to just keep re-rolling and hopefully get, you know, the perfect build. So they give you different levels of stuff. Then of course there's, yeah, if you wanted to build your items, here's where you go build it. There's a huge list of items that you get throughout the game. Some you just get from by playing, and then others you get as you build them up. And of course the transfer sash. So as you play the game, you can put items into your box here, and it just sits and waits for you patiently, or for any of your characters that you want to put in there. So playing multiple run-throughs definitely is encouraged. This is the part I was saying before. See, this is the devotion tree. You can really spend your points however you see fit, along with the occultists. There are, I believe there's a couple other skills and abilities that can be selected in here. So that is the basics of Grim Dawn. It's a very interesting game, well worth a try if you haven't already given it a try.